Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to delve deep into one of General Hospital's most intriguing and mysterious relationships, Carly Spencer and Jack Brennan. If you've been watching their story unfold, you know it's a tangled web of emotions, secrets, betrayals, and moments of surprising tenderness. So grab your popcorn, because this relationship is anything but ordinary, and we'll explore it in detail, how it started, where it's going, and the emotional roller coaster they've been on together. Now, when we look back at the beginning of Carly and Jack's relationship, it's hard to ignore how much intrigue and chemistry there was between them from the start. Initially, their interactions were charged with flirtation, with a magnetic pull that neither of them could easily resist. Carly, being the strong, independent woman that she is, was naturally drawn to Jack's mysterious and slightly dangerous aura. And, let's face it, he was equally captivated by her. There was something about her, something he couldn't quite ignore. They shared moments that were full of tension, full of potential, making it feel like something was about to happen between them. But things quickly took a sharp turn when Carly discovered that Jack wasn't just a charming man, he was an undercover WSB agent with a hidden agenda. It was one of those classic soap opera twists that leaves viewers on the edge of their seats. Carly had no idea that the man she had been so drawn to had ulterior motives. As the truth about Jack's role as a WSB agent came to light, Carly found herself caught between fear and confusion. She quickly realized that Jack wasn't just a harmless flirt or even a simple agent with good intentions. No, he was involved in something far darker. It became clear that Jack's mission in Port Charles wasn't as innocent as it appeared. At one point, Carly even feared for her life. Was he planning to abduct her? Or worse, eliminate her entirely? It was a terrifying thought, but just as things seemed at their darkest, Anna Devane and Dante Falconeri swooped in to save Carly, rescuing her from what could have been a devastating fate. This heroic intervention marked the beginning of a complicated relationship, one where Carly's trust in Jack would be tested over and over again. But, despite the fact that Jack had tried to harm her, Carly couldn't seem to stay away. And that, my friends, is where this relationship takes a fascinating turn. After Jack's arrest and his stint in prison, Carly's interest in him didn't fade. In fact, it only seemed to grow. She visited him multiple times, even seeking his counsel on some of the most challenging and personal dilemmas she was facing at the time. It's almost as if Carly, despite everything that had happened, was looking for some kind of validation from Jack, trying to make sense of their shared past. But more than that, Carly was intrigued by him. Perhaps it was his intelligence, his mystery, or maybe it was the fact that Jack was a man with his own set of secrets. Regardless of the reasons, Carly couldn't seem to let go of her connection to him. Then came another unexpected twist. Jack disappeared from prison, and just as Carly thought their paths would never cross again, he reappeared in Port Charles. But this time, he was not the same man. Jack was now the head of the local WSB branch, an important position that gave him more power, and more of a presence in Port Charles. This change marked a significant shift in their dynamic. No longer was Jack just the dangerous man Carly had to be wary of. Now, he was in a position to potentially help her. And he did. Most notably, Jack played a crucial role in preventing Carly from going to prison for racketeering. He destroyed an FBI recording that could have sealed her fate, an act of kindness that, in many ways, represented a turning point in their relationship. It was clear now that Jack was no longer just a threat to Carly. He had, in some strange way, become an ally, even a protector. And with that, their bond began to grow stronger, though not without its complications. One of the biggest sources of tension in Carly and Jack's evolving relationship comes from Anna Devane. Anna, as we know, is fiercely protective of Carly, and she's never been one to blindly trust anyone, least of all someone like Jack. Despite all the times Jack has shown a softer side and even helped Carly, Anna remains suspicious of him. It was this distrust that led Carly to take an extraordinary step. She planted a bug in Jack's office in an attempt to uncover more about his activities, particularly whether he could locate Valentine Cassadine, who had become a key figure in Carly's life. This decision, however, was a huge risk. It wasn't just about proving Anna right or wrong, it was about Carly taking matters into her own hands, trying to make sense of Jack's motives. When Jack discovered the bug, it led to an explosive confrontation between the two of them. Carly, trying to defend herself, insisted that she only planted it to prove Anna wrong. But Jack wasn't so easily convinced, and it's in this moment that we see a shift in their relationship. There's an unmistakable tension in the air, and it's clear that Jack's feelings for Carly may have gone beyond mere professional concern. His anger wasn't just because of the betrayal, it seemed like there was something deeper at play. Now, here we are, at the crossroads of their relationship. They've been through so much flirtation, danger, betrayal, moments of tenderness, and it seems like they're standing on the brink of something even more complicated, romance. But the question remains, can these two really be together? Carly, who thrives on control and transparency, may find it difficult to build a lasting relationship with someone like Jack, a man whose life is based on secrets and deception. He's not the kind of man who lets anyone in easily, and Carly's need to know everything, to be involved in every aspect of her loved ones' lives, might clash with Jack's more elusive, secretive nature. So, how will they navigate this potential romance? Is it even possible for them to build something real, or are they destined to remain trapped in this cycle of push and pull, attraction and distrust? At this point, it's impossible to predict how their relationship will evolve. But there's no denying that the chemistry between Carly and Jack is undeniable, and the potential for something more is certainly there. The question is, will they take the leap? Can Carly trust Jack enough to let her guard down, or will his secrets tear them apart before they even have a chance to try? Will Jack's feelings for Carly be enough to make him change, or is he too set in his ways? It's a tough situation for both of them, but one thing is for sure, there's no shortage of drama, and we'll be eagerly watching to see what happens next. So, what do you guys think? Do you want to see Carly and Jack together? Is there hope for them as a couple, or do you think their relationship is doomed from the start? And what about the bug situation? Should Jack forgive Carly, or is it a betrayal that can't be overlooked? Next, we're diving deep into the intense drama that has unfolded this week on General Hospital. If you thought things couldn't get any more explosive in Port Charles, think again. Dex Heller has just experienced a shocking turn of events that could change everything for him and his loved ones. But that's not all. With Cyrus Renault lurking in the shadows and a potential life-altering twist for Jocelyn Jacks on the horizon, this week's episodes have left fans on the edge of their seats. So, let's break it all down, because there's a lot to unpack here. Let's start with the jaw-dropping moment that left everyone in shock: Dex Heller getting stabbed from behind. Talk about a plot twist. Just when Dex was starting to find his footing in Port Charles, things took a dangerous turn. The poor guy was viciously attacked, leaving fans wondering who could have been behind such a brutal assault. The good news is that Dr. Lucas Horton reassured everyone that Dex should make a full recovery, which was a huge relief. However, the bad news came quickly after. Fans recently learned that Cyrus Renault was the person responsible for Sam McCall's Digitalis overdose, and now, with Dex's life hanging in the balance, it's clear that things are about to get a lot more complicated for the rookie cop. As we saw in the latest episode, Dex and Cyrus shared a tense conversation that really raised the stakes. Dex, ever the brave cop, reminded Cyrus about the restraining order Laura Collins filed against him to keep him away from Lulu Spencer. But it wasn't just that. Dex also dropped a bombshell by mentioning Cyrus's visit to Lulu at the hospital on Halloween. That remark seemed to unsettle Cyrus, and it's clear that he's trying his hardest to cover up his tracks. The real question here is, why does he care so much? Could it be because he has something more sinister planned? If Cyrus is this desperate to keep his visit under wraps, could it be that he's planning to do even more damage? Here's where things get even more intriguing. What if Cyrus is responsible for stabbing Dex? After all, if he's truly trying to silence the young cop, what better way to do so than to eliminate him entirely? Dex has already proven that he's a thorn in Cyrus's side, especially with his investigation into Lulu's well-being and his growing involvement in the drama surrounding the city. A public stabbing would certainly send a message, but would it be enough to keep Dex down for good? The tension is thick, and it's clear that Cyrus is more dangerous than ever. Could he be trying to end Dex's life once and for all? Or is there another, even more twisted agenda at play here? Fans will have to keep watching to see how this dangerous game plays out. Meanwhile, there's another huge development involving Dex's girlfriend, Jocelyn Jacks. Fans are about to witness a life-changing moment for her, and it's one that could rock her world completely. While we don't know all the details yet, it's possible that Joss is about to receive news that could change everything. Could it be about Dex's fate? Is she going to find out that the love of her life might not make it through his ordeal? The emotional stakes are incredibly high, and it's hard to imagine how Joss will cope if the worst happens. But that's not all. There's the looming question of whether this could lead to a baby storyline for Joss. Let's not forget that Jocelyn and Dex shared a passionate night together on December 9th, which has fans speculating about what could be coming next. Could this be the beginning of a major storyline involving a pregnancy? Joss is still in university and fairly young, so she's at a crossroads in her life. If she finds out that she's pregnant, how will she handle it? With the possibility of losing Dex so soon after their intimate moment, Joss's world could be turned upside down. Will she decide to keep the baby, or will she face the difficult decision of terminating the pregnancy? It's going to be an emotional ride for Jocelyn, and fans are eagerly waiting to see what direction the writers will take her character. But let's not forget about the bigger picture. With Dex's life hanging in the balance, the question remains, could Cyrus end his life? He's a man known for his ruthlessness and his willingness to go to extreme lengths to get what he wants. If Dex is becoming too much of a threat to his plans, would Cyrus do whatever it takes to get rid of him? It's a chilling thought, but with everything that's been unfolding lately, it's certainly not out of the realm of possibility. If Cyrus does take the drastic step of eliminating Dex, how will Jocelyn, and the rest of Port Charles, cope with the fallout? With so many questions hanging in the air and so much drama unfolding at once, there's no shortage of excitement for General Hospital fans. Dex's life is in danger, Jocelyn's future is uncertain, and Cyrus remains a lurking threat. Things are about to get even more explosive, and we can't wait to see how it all plays out. Will Dex survive this brutal attack, or is this the beginning of the end for him? Will Jocelyn have to face the loss of the man she loves, or will they find a way through this together? And will Cyrus's schemes finally come to a head? Fans will have to stay tuned to find out. So, what do you think, guys? Do you believe Cyrus is behind the attack on Dex? Could he really be trying to eliminate him for good? And how do you feel about the potential baby storyline for Jocelyn? Will it add even more drama to an already intense situation? Next, we're going to dive deep into one of the most shocking and potentially deadly twists on General Hospital this week, Dex Heller's injury and its aftermath. Now, we all know that on GH, when a character gets hurt, it's usually a big deal. We expect suspense, dramatic recoveries, emotional moments, and maybe even a couple of close calls. But this week's Dex storyline? Well, it kind of felt anticlimactic. There was no real sense of danger or urgency when Dex was injured. The whole situation was rushed, and fans were left scratching their heads, wondering if something bigger is in store for Dex. Let's break it all down and explore why this injury might actually be the calm before the storm and why Dex could still be in grave danger despite seeming to make a quick recovery. When Dex first got hurt, we were led to believe that it was a serious situation. After all, this is a guy who's been in some pretty dangerous situations recently, especially with his ties to Sonny Corinthos and the growing tension with the criminal underworld. But then, just as quickly as the drama unfolded, it was revealed that Dex would be fine. Dr. Lucas Horton, in a rather anticlimactic moment, reassured everyone that Dex would make a full recovery. There was no suspense, no lingering uncertainty about whether Dex would make it. He was practically given a clean bill of health within minutes. He even reassured Jocelyn Jacks, telling her that once he's healed, they could escape to a beach somewhere and live a peaceful life. Now, here's where things get interesting. If you've been watching General Hospital for any amount of time, you know that nothing is ever that simple. If a character appears to be recovering smoothly, only to make grand, optimistic plans for the future, that's usually a red flag. Think back to Sam McCall's transplant story. After she pulled through her surgery like a champ, she accepted Dante Falconeri's proposal, and everything seemed perfect. But that was just the calm before the storm, right? A few episodes later, Sam's life was turned upside down. And now, here we are with Dex, seemingly bouncing back from his injury far too easily. Is this a case of history repeating itself? Is the show just lulling us into a false sense of security before throwing us a major curveball? But it's not just the timing of Dex's recovery that feels off, it's the fact that the real danger has yet to fully reveal itself. While Dex is walking around, making plans for a beach vacation, let's not forget the biggest threat looming over his head, Cyrus Renault. This is the guy who targeted Dex in the first place, and let's be honest, it's pretty clear that he didn't intend for Dex to walk away unscathed. No, Cyrus has far more sinister plans in mind. If anything, his first attempt to take Dex out was probably just the beginning. After all, when it comes to dangerous criminals like Cyrus, a near-fatal attack is never just a one-off, there's always a deeper, darker agenda. So let's talk about why Cyrus is such a threat to Dex's survival. For starters, we know that Cyrus is deeply involved in a number of criminal activities in Port Charles. His obsession with controlling people and situations is something we've seen time and again. But even more crucially, Dex is a loose end for Cyrus. Dex has already shown that he's not afraid to ask questions, investigate, and get to the bottom of things. Remember that eerie Halloween night when Cyrus sneaked into the hospital? Dex made sure to point out that Cyrus had violated the restraining order Laura Collins filed against him to keep him away from Lulu Spencer. This was a major red flag, and it's clear that Dex's curiosity and his ability to connect the dots has put him on Cyrus's radar in a big way. Cyrus doesn't want Dex digging around, making connections, and potentially discovering his deeper involvement in dangerous situations. If Dex gets too close to uncovering the truth about Cyrus's criminal empire, Cyrus will stop at nothing to silence him. We saw how ruthless Cyrus could be with Sam McCall, poisoning her with Digitalis in an attempt to cover his tracks. And now, with Dex as a potential threat to his secrets, could Cyrus be planning a second attempt on Dex's life? Given the lack of suspense in Dex's initial recovery, it feels like we're just getting started with the real danger. The question everyone's asking is, what could be coming next for Dex? Is Cyrus planning to finish the job with a second Digitalis overdose? If you remember, Sam's near-death experience with Digitalis was a major turning point in her storyline. What if Dex is now the next target of that same deadly poison? It would be the perfect way for Cyrus to eliminate Dex without leaving much of a trace. After all, Digitalis poisoning doesn't always show up immediately, and it's a method that could easily be made to look like a medical complication or accident. Something that would keep Dex's death from raising too many suspicions. The more we think about it, the more it feels like Dex's injury and recovery were just a setup for something far darker. Maybe the reason the situation wasn't played up as a major medical crisis is because the real crisis is yet to come. We could be in for a shocking twist where Dex, who appears to be recovering smoothly, suddenly finds himself in a life-or-death situation once again. This time, he may not be as lucky. A sudden heart attack, caused by another dose of Digitalis, would be an incredibly dramatic turn of events. It's the perfect way for Cyrus to make sure that Dex never speaks out about the truth he's uncovered. But here's the kicker, what does this mean for Jocelyn? Dex has already given her hope, telling her about their future plans and how they'll recover together. If Cyrus succeeds in his plan and Dex doesn't make it, Jocelyn will be left to cope with the devastating loss of the man she loves. It's hard to imagine the emotional fallout from such a loss, especially given that Jocelyn is still so young and navigating her own challenges in university. A pregnancy storyline could even be on the horizon if she finds out she's pregnant with Dex's child, and the emotional ramifications of that would only add to the heartbreak. Losing Dex and facing an uncertain future would be a double blow for her, and fans are on the edge of their seats wondering how she'll handle the grief and what will happen next. So, could Cyrus end up killing Dex after all? Will Dex survive this second round of danger, or is this the beginning of the end for him? The show has left so many questions hanging, and it's clear that Dex's fate is still very much up in the air. Fans are eagerly watching, waiting to see if Dex can escape Cyrus's deadly grasp. If not, will Jocelyn be left to pick up the pieces of her shattered life? What do you think, guys? Do you think Cyrus will try to kill Dex again? Is Digitalis poisoning the next move for him? Or will Dex manage to survive and get to the bottom of Cyrus's secrets? And what about Jocelyn? How will she cope with all of this if things take a tragic turn? Let me know your thoughts in T.